Chalo. So last time, Hamane just modern JavaScript, like we have started with the modern JavaScript part, and we have done some like variables and scopes, and then timer functions related to things. Now let's see the other like features, some more important features like mm, arrow functions and destructuring, spread operator, rest operator, this all things. Okay. So how many of you know the arrow functions? Arrow functions, have you worked on before? No? Yes or no?
Yes, little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So let's take it. So I'll create a new file here. Arrow functions.js. Okay. And here let's say arrow. Okay. And I'll start the server. Okay. Now, see, do you know the regular functions, right? Regular functions, how they works, right? Regular functions, like we create a function using function keyword. Okay, this is a regular function. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a function sum. Okay, and it basically accepts two parameters, a comma b, and here I'm returning the sum of that function a plus b, right? And when I'm if I want to call it, I can just call this function like sum 10 comma 20. Okay, but this will call the value function, and the value will be returned here, so we can directly print it using console.log like this. So it will print the output. Okay, so if you see, you'll get an output like 30 here. Okay, but this is a regular function. Okay, now what is the arrow function? Arrow functions, so see, there is one more thing. Yesterday I have also shown you how to create a function by creating a variable as well, right? So this same function I can convert it like this as well, like create a variable const sum equals to function a comma b. Okay, this will be the same thing. Okay, this will also work, and this will also give you the 30 output. Okay, so you can create the functions two ways. Okay, but there is a one more way you can create a function, that is called as arrow function. Okay, now what is arrow function? So arrow functions are like shorter syntax of your function. Okay, so when you want to create an arrow function, what you have to do is, I'll just comment this out and create a new here. So in when you create an arrow function, you just omit this function keyword, and after your arguments you specify arrow symbol. Okay, and your arrow function is there. Okay, that's it. So that's how you create an arrow function. Okay, if you see and if you run your file now, you will see the 30 output is printed over here. Okay, but then why the need of this arrow function? Okay, we can create a regular function using function keyword. Then why? What is the need of this arrow function? And why we call it as a shorter syntax? Okay, because arrow function has a lot more things than this. Okay, so if you have, let's say, if you have only one statement in your function, if you have only one statement and that statement can be returned or cannot be returned, it's up to us. Okay, now you can see we have only one statement, return a plus b. Okay, we can make it shorter. How? Just remove this return statement. Okay, remove curly braces like this. Okay, your arrow function is done. Okay, if you have only one statement, you can directly write it after arrow symbol. Okay, this will also work. This will also give you 30 output. Okay, that's why it is called as shorter syntax, because the three line of code has been converted to a single line. Okay, that's because we have omitted curly braces and then return statement. Huh. If you have multiple statements, and then you are returning or you are not returning as well, that's fine. Okay, but if you have multiple statements, then you need curly braces. Okay, but for one single statement, you can omit the curly braces. Okay, so that's how you create an arrow function. Okay, how is it how it will be helpful for us? Okay, so it's like now there is one more thing. Okay, so let's say you have a function like this. Okay, const square. Okay, which basically creates a square of let's say if I want to create an arrow function of this, so it will create do a into a like this, right? So if you have only one parameter, okay, you can omit this round bracket as well. This will also work. Okay, so if I say square of 10 or square of 10 is 100, so you will get 100 value. Okay, so if you only have a one parameter, you can omit round brackets. Even if you put it, that's also fine. Okay, that will also give you the same output. But if you want to make it shorter, you can omit that as well. Okay, here it will not make any sense. But when you write this arrow functions as a callback function to any function, then it will reduce a lot of code for you. Okay, so got it? How to create an arrow function? Arrow function not just like this. We have a lot more thing to do in arrow function. So we'll see that. Okay, but have you got how to create an arrow function?
Yes.
Okay, wanna try out? Try it out. Try it out on your own. So then we can. By the way, have you heard about array functions like filter, map, reduce functions? These are very common functions. These are most widely used functions. Okay, have you heard about these functions? Array functions, not arrow, array functions. Filter, map, and reduce. Yeah or no? No? No. Okay. Cool. Okay, no worries. I will tell you what all these functions are. So let's say, let's take an example. Okay. If you want to, if you have an array, okay, const array equals to 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Okay. So you have this array. Now I ask you to take out all the even numbers from this array. What will be your step? How will you calculate even numbers, or how will you take out even numbers from this array? What logic you will perform? Hmm? Just any guesses or any suggestions? How will you do it?
Num- Number mod 2 is equal to 2.
Number mod 2. But first of all, what you need to do is loop through this array, right? First of all, you will loop through this array, right? For sorry, into put the let I equals to 0, then I less than sorry, I less than array dot length, okay, and then I plus plus, okay, and then inside this you will do a condition if array of I, okay, mod 2, this about right, mod 2 equals to 0, then we know it's a even number, right? So to store it in a even number, we'll need a one more array, let's say even array. Okay, let's call it as a blank array, and when we have a even number, we will push that even number into my even array. Okay, so in this I will push array of I, okay, like this, and then you can do console.log and you can print the value of even array, right? So I will print both of these arrays, array and even array. Okay. I will comment this one, it will not interfere. See, we have a original array 1 2 3 4 5, and you have a even array which we have calculated, which is 2 4 2 comma 4. Okay, so that's how you will do it. So how many lines of code we have written? Okay, this exclude this one, this is an array. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 lines of code. Okay, if you omit this curly braces, then consider 4 lines of code. Okay, So we have written like 4 lines of code to just calculate the even number of array. Okay, we can do this in a single line. We can do this in a single line. Okay, how? So array has a filter function. Okay, now filter means what? You have to filter out something. Okay, you have an array, and from that array you have to filter some parts or some elements from that array. Okay, based on some condition. Now what we are doing is having some condition on line number 17. We are doing if array of I mod dot 2 equals to 0. That's a condition. So based on condition we are actually filtering out some element. We are actually pushing, if the element is even, then we are pushing into another array. That means we are filtering out. Okay, so array has inbuilt function for that. Okay, it has a filter function. Okay, so here, how can we perform the same thing using a filter function? Okay, I'll comment this. I have an array. Okay, so let's do cons even array equals to, okay, array dot filter. If you see the filter function's definition, okay, or the documentation, what it accepts is it accepts a predicate function. Okay, this is a predicate function. This you can say it's a predicate function. Okay, the first parameter is nothing but a predicate function, or you can say callback function. Okay, which will be called for each and every value of that array. Okay, and it will return it returns the elements of an array that meet the condition specified in a callback function. So callback, in the callback function, whatever the predicate is or whatever the condition is, you specify. If the condition is true, then that element will be returned in a new array. Okay, if the condition is false, then that element will not be returned. Okay, let's see how. So you have a filter function. So filter function will accept a predicate. Okay, the predicate is nothing but a callback function. Okay, so let's write a callback function here. I'm writing a regular function right now. Okay, so in the callback function, what you need to return, you have to return something. Okay, because callback function return something here. Okay, so you have to return something. So what we have to return? You have to return true or false. If you are returning true, okay, that means let's see, the filter function, as I told you, filter function will loop through each and every element of an array. That means this callback function will be called for each and every element of an array. That means in the function itself I'm going to get a value. Okay, or let's say element, so element, so each and every element I'm going to get it over here. So this function will be called for each and every element of this array. Okay, so I just need to check whether this element is even or odd. Okay, so how can we check it? Element dot mod equals to 0. Okay, if it is equals to 0, then it will return true. If it is not equals to 0, then it will return false. If it returns true, then this element will be included in the new array, that is even array. Okay, if it is false, then this element will not be included in the even array. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, now you can just print out the console even array. You will get all the even numbers. See, all the even numbers are there. Okay, you can check out this array. So this is my original array and this is my even array. See, I'm getting the same output. Okay, now this, as I told you, we can do it in a single line. We can do it because I'm using a regular function here. If I use a arrow function, it can be done in a single line, because if I have to do it in a arrow function, because it has a single statement. Okay, so I can remove this function keyword. I can remove this round brackets as well, because only a single element is there. Then I can put a arrow symbol here, and I don't need curly braces. I don't need this return keyword. Okay, see, done in a single line. Okay, now you can check, you will get the same output, 1 2 3 4 5 and 2 4. Okay, so you can see they like 3 4 or 6 lines of code we have reduced it to one line just using this filter function. Okay, and it accepts a predicate function. Okay, this predicate function will include will have a element, and we can just check the element whether it is a by using some condition. If that condition returns true, that means this element will be included in the even array. If this condition is false, then this element will not be included in the even array. Okay, That's how you get filtered out values. Got it? Got it, everyone? Understood how this filter function works?
Yes.
So can you please
Yes.
repeat the filter section again?
Filter section, this filter one. Okay. See, filter function accepts a predicate function. Okay, this predicate function. Okay, we can write it as a separate function as well. Okay, this function will be, now you can see this function actually accepts three parameters. One is value. Okay, another is index, and third one is array. Okay, this which is nothing but a original array. This index is nothing but when you loop through and for loop, right? So this I is nothing but an index. So it will also give you the index number here, and the value is nothing but array of I. Okay, array of I is nothing but the value, so that is nothing but your element. I am only taking first element. You can see these two elements are like optional. If you want to take it, you can take it. Like you can use something like this: element comma I will be or index will be an index, and then new array, something like this. Okay, so these three parameters, this will be an array of number, this will be index number, and this will be element number. Okay, so what happens when I write a predicate function here? So for a filter function will run this predicate function for each and every element of this array. Okay, that means this function will run for 1, this function will run for 2, this function will run for 3. For every element this function will run. Okay, so when it runs for 1, so let's say element is 1 now, so 1 more 2 equals 0, which is false. So this 1 will not be returned in a even array. Okay, so when you say for the next element 2, 2 mod 2 equals 0, so that means it's a true value is true. That means the true 2 value will be returned here and will be included in the even array. When you say 3, 3 will come here. 3 mod 2 equals to 0, false, and 3 will not be included in even array. Same is for 4 and same is for 5. So this function will
So it's
execute.
working as a list comprehension we have in Python.
Yeah, you can say this comprehension. Okay, but this filter function is like that only. Like you pass a callback function, and that callback function should return boolean value. Okay, it should not return any other value. Okay, any other value apart from 0 is considered as true. Okay, so that will be considered as true. So don't return any value, just return boolean value, true or false. So if it is true, then that element will be included. If it is false, then element will not be included. Okay, so that's how your filter function will work. Got it? Understood, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sure. So that's how your filter function works. Okay. Now rest map, reduce, and every other function will work in the same way itself. Okay. But the difference between filter and map is that filter will filter out the elements. Map will not filter out elements. Map is like it is mapping every element with a new element. That new element should be returned. Okay, means let's say I have this array, and for each and every element I want to uh, I want to return a cube. Okay, so each and every element will return a new array which will have cubes of each of these elements. Okay, so you can perform map operation. Okay, so let's say cube array here, and array now you can see one more thing. When I'm using filter function, okay, original array remains same. Okay, filter function returns a new array, so your original array will remain same. It will not be tampered. Okay, so your original array will remain same, filter function will return you new array. Okay, that's why we are getting even array as a new array and array as a original array. Okay, so now if you want to perform a cube, what you can do is instead of filter, use map. Okay, map function, if you see map function, now here it shouldn't return boolean. Okay, map function basically accepts again, it accepts a callback function which has again three values: value, index, and array. Okay, and this should return something. Okay, you can see calls a defined callback function on each element of an array, and returns an array that contains the result. Okay, now the result can contain anything. Okay, so if I, let's say if I return 4 here, let's say 4, not 10 here. Okay, so for every element, for 1, 10 will be written, 2, 10 will be written, 3, 10 will be written, 4, 10 will be written, 5, 10 will be written. That means this cube array will actually have 5, 10 values. Okay, you can see here 5, 10 values. That means for each and every element, okay, each and every element is actually replaced with this 10 value. Okay, so if I want to perform cube, I can simply say EL into EL into EL. Okay, so the cube of the element will be returned for that particular element. Okay, and then you will get a cube of every value, every number. Got it? Understood map function?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that using this arrow function, I can basically reduce the line of number of line of codes. Okay, previously like just without using function as well, we were able to do it in a 4 or 5 lines of code. Now if you use a normal for regular function also, you can do it in like 3 lines. Okay, but just using arrow function, you can reduce your number of lines, and you can do it in a single line itself. Okay, so try it out. Yeah, one more function is there, reduce function. Reduce function basically, yeah, first write it down, then I will tell you the reduce function. Okay, told told them. Then would you please increase the font size? Okay, just a minute. Is it enough? Yeah, okay. So then
Yes.
okay, cool.
Sir,
Yes.
significance of arrow function means the same things. So reduce the port size,
Pardon.
correct?
What we're saying? Your voice is not.
What is the significance of arrow function?
Arrow function, first of all, like it makes your code like shorter. Okay, you don't have to write function keyword and all. Okay, and here also like you don't have to write a function keyword. Okay, there is one more thing I'm going to tell you right now after this. Okay, so the significance of this keyword in the arrow function. Okay, so when you so let's do it. Okay, no worries. So when I do console log this, okay, console log this, what will be the output of this? What will be the output of this?
Window.
Window, correct? Window object. Because you are on the browser, so you will get window object. Okay. Now, if I do like this function fun1, okay, and I do console log this inside this, and same thing I'm doing with const fun2 function, or no, not function, arrow function. like this. Now, if you do this, okay, you're again going to get the same output. Window this. Okay, but let's consider one more thing. Okay, I'm creating one object. Okay, const, let's say test obj. Okay, and inside this, let's create a function with a regular function. Okay, fun1 function. Okay, and inside this, I'm writing console.log this. Okay, and I'm declaring fun2 with arrow function. Okay, and here also I'm doing console log this. Okay, now if I do like test obj dot fun1 and test obj dot fun2, what will be the output? Will it be window object again? Here we have already,
Yes.
it will give you window object, right?
Yes.
I'll comment this out, right? So here it will print window object because this refers to the because it's global and it refers to the window object. Okay, but when you do the this print this keyword inside an object, okay, inside an object or inside a class, you will see the difference. See, now regular function is printing the object itself. Okay, if you want to check it out, I will just check do val equals to 10 so that you will get understand. See, val 10 fun1 fun2, but my arrow function is still printing window object. Okay, so when you are using object or class, okay, and inside class or inside an object, if you declare a regular function, this will always point to the object which is calling this function. Okay, so here this will point to the object who is calling this function. Okay, or basically where it is written. So you can see test obj is calling this fun1, right? So it will always refer to this test obj. Okay, and here this will point to the object where this function is declared. Okay, so it is declared in the global window object. Okay, so that's why it will print you fun window object. Okay, so you can see here. So a regular function is still printing the object, means basically where who is calling that function, but the fun2 is still printing window object. Okay, that's the basic difference between regular function and arrow function. Now regular function can be used in the classes because in classes we most of the time we want to access class variables. Okay, when we create an object of class, okay, we want to access class variables, right? So in that case we have to write a regular function. Okay, inside a class, if you want to access a variable, this dot, let's say you have a class person and inside that you have a name. So inside that, if you have a function, greet function, you will write this dot name, then it will only call the name of that particular object. Okay, person class object. But when you do arrow function, it will not point to the class. Okay, it will point to the global object where it is defined. So it will point, right now it will point to window object. Okay, this can be helpful when you want to call window related properties inside class or anywhere. Okay, now let's say inside this test obj, I want to call this windows event. Okay, let's say I want to call window event. Okay, let's say window have a lot of events. Okay, so on click, on double click. Okay, see, if I want to call event here, on click event, so if you use a arrow function, then it is possible to call an event, but if you use the regular function, then it will not be possible. Okay, and but yeah, if you want to access this val object, then in regular function it is not possible. In sorry, arrow function it is not possible, but in regular function it is possible. Okay, got it? That is the basic difference. So arrow functions are basically will have this kind of structure where you can access the global window object in the arrow function. If you want to call a window object inside a function, then or event inside a function, then you can use this arrow function there as well. What is that's
Sir, can you repeat the fun1 function?
fun1 function. So fun1 function,
Yeah.
see, it is declared as a regular function, right? I am declaring using a function keyword. So when this function is called, right, fun1 is called by using test obj. Test obj is the object where function is declared, right? So who is calling the fun1? Test obj is calling the function. So fun1 will this inside fun1 will always refers to this test obj. That's why you can see the test obj is printed over here. Okay, but for fun2, it will not point to the object who is calling it. Okay, you can see fun2 is called by test obj because it is obviously declared inside test obj, but it will not point to test obj. It will point to the it will point to the object where it is declared or where it is defined. Okay, so it is defined in the window object itself. That's why it will always refer to the window object. Okay.
So
Got it?
is this the same case when it comes to the variables uh, instead of this when it comes to arrow function? Like if I'm defining a variable outside const test
Mhm.
obj
Mhm.
and calling it inside the arrow function, and at
Uh,
the same time I'm changing its value in the const test obj. So what will be the value of a variable
uh, can you
in arrow
repeat?
function?
Like,
Let's say I'm defining a val
Mhm.
uh, in val is equal to 10 inside test obj.
Mhm.
And at the same time I'm defining val is equal to 20 outside test obj.
Outside of test obj,
And
const
okay,
val equals to 20 like this.
hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, and also the same val is equal to 10.
Mhm. Here itself.
Maybe you can do inside the test obj, we can do let or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
inside test obj we cannot do because this is like a object.
Mm-hmm.
We are defining key value pair. Inside object you can only define
Mm-hmm.
key value pair.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot define
Okay.
here let val equals to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Like this we cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
This is an
Okay.
object.
And what if I'm hmm, okay? Maybe I'll have to come up with a good example because I had a confusion that just like this, does
Mhm.
the same logic is applicable for the variables too? Like that the scope goes outside the object for the arrow function.
Yeah, if this function goes outside of this object now, we have already
Mm-hmm.
proven that it will print window object. Here we are declaring, right? The function is
Mm-hmm.
declared here and we are printing this here. And
Yeah.
also regular function, we have an arrow function as well. So in both
Mm-hmm.
of these cases, it will print window object
Window object. Yeah. Right.
because they are declared, they are also declared by window and fun1 is called by window itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Right.
it is printing window object and fun2 is obviously defined inside window object. So that's why it is uh, telling you window object. So in both these cases, you will see window object. But when you come inside an object or a class, at that time you will see the difference. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. What about others?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Try this out. There was one more function remaining was the reduce function. I'll tell you reduce function. So reduce function is like so let's say you have an array like this. So I'll comment this. Okay. And reduce function, the name itself suggests that your array should be reduced to a single value. Okay. So reduce function, what it does is it will also loop through an array, loop through each and every element of an array. Okay. And the ultimate output is nothing but a single value. Okay. So let's say if you want to if you want to calculate sum of all the numbers inside an array, so you can use reduce function. Okay. Regular way you have to do a for loop, then do a sum and then print it out. But in using reduce function, you can do it in a single statement itself. You can do like const sum of array equals arr dot reduce. Okay, the reduce function basically it again accepts a callback function, so the callback function will be executed for each and every element, but it has two parameters, not two parameters, four parameters: previous value, current index, and array. Okay, whereas in filter and array function, map function, we have three values: value, index, and array. But in case of reduce, we have one more value, that is previous value and current value. Okay, so here let's say I say previous comma current. Okay, so here also you need to return something. Okay, so if I'm returning previous plus current, okay, so this will give me the sum of all elements all elements of an array. Okay, so here you will get 1 plus 2, 3, 6, 10, 15 value. Okay, so you'll get 15 here. Okay? So it will give you a sum of all the elements. Obviously, this is not limited to like calculating a sum. You can do a lot more than that. Okay. Now, if I want to give you, let's say, a real life example, not of reduce, but let's say a filter example. Okay, a real life example of filter. So let's say we will come to this. We will be doing in Angular itself. I'll ask you that time. Okay, I will tell you now, but I will ask you that time how we can do that. Okay, so let's say we have a products array here, products array. Okay, so this array basically is an array of products. Okay, so if let's say we have a id colon 1 and then price colon let's say 1000. Okay, and here I'm not adding name just for simplicity. I have a second array, then price is 4000. Okay, then third array, third element, that price is 7000. Okay, fourth element with price as let's say 3000. Okay, now let's say I want to get all the products whose price is greater than 2000. Okay, whose price is greater than 2000. So greater than 2000 elements are like these three only. So I should get only these three products. Okay, how can we do it? Anyone? How can we do this? I have to use the filter function, right?
Filter, yes.
Yeah. So I'll use filter function here. So what other thing I have to do? Let's say I'm a filtered array, and this is for products. I'm filtering on products. Now what I have to do here? What condition I have to write here? First of all, tell me this element will be which element? Will it be ID? Will it be
No,
price?
it
Or
will
will it be
be
entire object?
that object.
Entire
Yes.
object, because it's an array of objects, correct?
Yes.
So
EL dot price.
correct. So EL dot
EL
price,
dot
product dot price.
product dot
Product
price
dot price is
greater than
greater than
2000.
2000, correct? That way you can get filtered array. So now if you check, you'll get three elements whose price is greater than 2000. Okay, so that's, you can say, a real life example of filter. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear with this functions. You can see that within single line I have done. Now let's say filter function is so much useful that most of the time you will use this filter function, map function. Okay, so if you do this like 4 lines of code, you'll have to write a lot of code for this. By using single line, I'm just doing entire filtering. Okay, so I hope everyone is clear with the functions, array functions.
Sir,
Yes.
reduce method is reduces by value 1, correct? So
It
I
will not
didn't get
reduce
that
the
actually.
value. It will not reduce the value. It will basically reduce, like, means reduce all of the elements to a single value. Okay, so see here I'm getting a single value, some like 15 right here. So the 15 is written. Why 15 is written? Because if you say, let's loop through it. Okay, so let's say when I am calling a reduce function for this entire array, So for each and every element, this function will run. Okay. So sorry, in this case, for first element, for 1, previous value is nothing, so it will be 0. Okay, current value is 1. Okay, so 0 plus 1 will return 1, right? So this 1 value will become a previous value for next element. Okay, so here for 2, the previous value is 1, current value is 2. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3. Now returned value is 3. The 3 will become previous value for next element. So previous is 3, current is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 will be returned as a as a previous value for a next element. So here previous value will be 6, current value will be 4. So 6 plus 4 10. The 10 will be returned as a previous value for next element. So previous value will be 10, current value will be 5. So 10 plus 5 15, and there is no element. Now the 15 is returned and you will get the value as 15. All right, so that's how basically reduce function works. Got it?
Okay, so in what cases we use the reduce function?
Reduce can be used like
To get the total in the cart.
yeah, you can obviously, yeah, see, for this function, like for products, okay, if you want to get total price of this, let's say this is a cart element. That's a good example. Cart, number of products in the cart. Okay, so you have these 4 elements. If you want to get a total of this all elements, okay, what you will do, either you can do for loop and calculate the price, or else you can use reduce function. Okay, reduce function will give you total price of this. How can we do it? Just use the same reduce function here. Let's say total price here, and we can use reduce. Okay, when you use reduce, so we can say, let's say this is a previous product. Okay, and here current product. Okay, like this. So current previous product, what I want to calculate is a total, right? So previous product dot price, total price, it will be price. Okay, plus current product dot price. I just return this plus current product dot price. Okay, so now if you do this, it will give me the total price, because it will calculate price for each and every product. Okay, and you will get ultimate. Products is not defined. Oh, sorry, I have commented. Now refresh. It's a none. Why none? Because price is number. Price is number.
We need to give initial value also as a 0 or something.
Yeah. Reduce function also accepts initial value. Okay, so you can specify initial value, but most of the time, if see, initial value is actually calculated based on the type of your element. Okay, if the type of element is array, okay, so it's an array, so initial value will be taken as 0. But if you see type of element is an object, then initial value will be considered as a null or something like that. Okay, so here now you can see total price is number. Now you will see it is none. Why? So 0. Let's do one thing. I'll just console log everything. Returning here previous product. So might be the reason because it's a current product and previous product. That's why. Maybe that's the reason. Okay. See, previous product is not a previous product actually, because we are returning a number here. So this is not a product. Okay, we are returning previous price plus current product price, right? So this will be not a number. This will not be a product object. This is like a previous number, you can say. Okay, this is also previous number here. See, for first element, previous number is 0. Okay, and the current product. Current product is an object. Okay, ID and price. So when you calculate, like previous number is 0 plus current product price, that is, let's say 1000. So 1000 plus 0 will be 1000 and that will be returned, and that returned value is nothing but a number itself again. So previous value is always going to be a number because we are defining number as the initial value. Okay, so now you will see the total cart value, that is 15,000. Okay, so previously what we used to do is previous price dot price this. So that's why it was returning not a number, because price, there is no price value there, right? So anything like undefined plus price is not a number. Okay, so that's why you are getting a number, not a number value. So we see this is also one of the real life example where you can basically see how to calculate a total cart price. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, I hope everyone has understood the filter or array functions and this arrow function basically.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
I have pinged in a message. So how this will be actually called?
See, this is like you are calling a function and then you are again calling a function. Okay, this basically will not work. Why? Because I will tell you. So let's say you have a sum function. Now there is no sum right here.
I just wanted which concept is this actually. I
I
didn't
will tell
get
you.
that.
I will tell you. I will tell you. This. Okay. Let's say you have a function like this and you are returning a plus b like this. Okay, and you say a. Now when you write a sum like this, okay, see sum of a, what it is returning, it is returning a number. So you cannot call a number, right? You cannot call a number as a function. Okay, so when you are doing like this, that means the you are doing this, right? So that means there is a function returned here. There should be a function returned here. Okay, that means this is like something like this. Okay, so let's say a. Okay, so here now you are returning let's say b, not or say b. Let's b or a. You need to pass the same thing because there I cannot pass a different value. Let's say 5 itself. Okay, so a plus 5. What wrong have I written? Expected semicolon. Oh, sorry, it should be an array. Let's say a plus a itself. Okay, don't worry. Um, let's say b itself, b here, and a plus b. Okay, so see, what I'm doing here is I'm creating a function sum, and in that function I'm returning one function, okay, which is accepting one parameter. And basically what I'm doing is I'm calculating a here the previous value plus the function which is returned, and inside that the value, so a plus b. So when you write like this, okay, so when you, let's say console.log sum of 10, okay, so when you do this sum of 10, what will be the returned value? What it will return? What sum of a will return? Can you tell me?
It will return a function which
It will
is
return a
Yeah.
accepting another value.
Yes, it will return a function, correct? So now if you see console.log, sorry, if you see console.log, you will see a function which I have written over here, right? Now let's say I'm taking into a variable const var1 equals to this sum. Okay, now this var1 is a function. Okay, we know it because we have just checked it out. Var1 is a function. Okay, now if I call this var1 function again 20 like this, so now it will return me 10 plus 20 as 30, right? Because the 10 value was already passed here. And when I pass 20, so that 20 is passed here and 10 plus 20 has become 30. Now if I want to do this in a single line, well, how can we do it? I can just pass 20 here and I can see the variable value here. I'll see 30 here. So basically what does this mean is there is a function returned from this function and you are calling that function again. Okay.
Okay, got it.
There is this thing called as function currying.
Function
Currying.
curry.
Curry.
I don't know about this term, but yeah, you can check it out later on. Function currying, maybe I haven't heard about
Can you show the script? So I want to just try it.
this one. Is it done?
So
Function currying. Yeah, it's a function currying, I guess. Yeah, the first time I am hearing this term. That's a new thing for me. Thanks, Asta. So we can call it as a function currying. Is it done, everyone? Okay, cool. Okay. Now let's see. So arrow function. I hope sorry, everyone is clear about arrow functions now. Okay. The first thing in the arrow function is like you can reduce the syntax, and next thing is like you can right when you use this keyword inside arrow function, okay, it will behave differently with your regular function. Okay. So that effect you can see when you include a arrow function or regular function inside a object or class. Okay. In regular functions or arrow functions, when you directly use them, you will not see that difference, but you will see the difference when you use it inside an object or an class. Okay. Now let's see the next concept, okay, which is a small concept. Okay, that's not a big concept. Object literals. Okay, so object literals. Purchase. Okay, see, you can create object like many ways. Okay, one of the ways like object dot create method. Okay, using object dot create method, you can create an object. If you're creating a class, then if you declare a variable using new class name, then that will also create an object. Okay, and the regular way that we see is nothing but an object literal way. It means like you create a variable like this and then you declare a object like this. So this is called as object literal. Okay. So you can create an object literal like this. Okay, but what is the what is the new thing we are going to learn in this? Okay, so there are like two new concepts which are introduced in after like year 6 or so. So one is dynamic property syntax and another is shorter property syntax. Okay, let's see them. So if you want to create an object, so like you can create a value like this. Okay, then if you want to add a function inside an object, you can write one function, a regular function like this. Okay, or you can create in a new way, you can create a function like this as well. Okay, means you don't have to write a key value pair, the key will be function name and value will be function. Okay, these two are equivalent. Okay, and if you want to use the arrow function, right now we are just now we have seen how to create an arrow function. So this way you can create an arrow function. Okay, now there is a one more syntax or thing that has been included in a ES6 or latest JavaScript. So let's say I have a variable here, a const mystery variable equals to, I'm assigning a value answer. Okay, and here I'm doing, let's say, mystery colon, okay, 30, like this. Okay, now if you try to access console.log test obj dot mystery, okay, this will print me output as 30, right? Yeah, I need to change this one. This will give me output as 30. Okay, that's a regular thing that we have already seen. Okay, but now let's say if I wrap this inside a square bracket, what will be the output of this? What will be the output of test obj.mystery? Can you tell me?
30 as an array.
30 as an array. Okay, that's one answer. Any other? Well, that's wrong. Okay,
Okay.
anyone? No? Okay, this will print undefined. Okay, why? Because when I wrap uh, any key inside a square bracket, okay, so it will be evaluated. Okay, it will be evaluated means what? This mystery is not considered as a string now, this mystery is considered as a variable now. Okay, now I already have a mystery karke variable here, right? And that's value is answer. That means this key now becomes answer. You can see mystery is answer. Okay, so there is no mystery key here, there is an answer key. Okay, so that means if I call test obj.answer here, I will get 30 value. See, but if I do test obj.mystery, I'll get undefined because there is no mystery key. Okay, got it? This is called as dynamic property syntax. Dynamic property syntax. Okay, we are actually creating property dynamically. Okay, we are dynamically creating property here. Okay, so this mystery, got it everyone? This one, dynamic property syntax.
Yes.
Okay, now do you know we can call key of an object like this as well, console.log. Okay, we can call test obj.val like this, so it will print me the value of val, which is 10. Okay, I can do using square bracket as well. Okay, inside square bracket, since val is a key, so you need to specify single quote and val, so this will also print me 10. Okay, so these two ways are all are correct. Okay, so you can write dot val as well as you can do like this as well. Okay, now what if I do, instead of val, if I do mystery here, what it will print?
30.
Correct, 30. Why? Because I'm using square bracket, this is a variable, so mystery is nothing but an answer, and answer is a key of test obj and it has a value 30, so you will get 30 as a value. Got it? Got it everyone?
Yes, sir.
So, but what is the
Use
main difference between dot operator and square bracket?
square bracket. Okay, I'll tell you. See, we have, when you have a dynamic variables. Okay, so let's consider
No, I'm saying while accessing the property of an object.
Hmm.
I understood on line number 8 what is happening,
Hmm.
but I'm confused about line number 14,
14.
14 and 13.
14 and 13, right? See,
Yes.
this can be used when you have a dynamic variables. Okay. See, what happens is, I will give you an example. Uh, mm, you have an object coming from your backend service. Okay.
Mhm.
Now you only know the variables which are coming. Okay. Now those variables will have a value. Okay. Let's say I have an object like this. It has a val 1 colon 10. Okay. Val 2 colon 20 like this. Okay. Let's say const obj1 like this. Okay. So this is an object which is coming from the backend. Okay. But I want to get all of these values. Okay. So I don't know the keys. Okay. I
Mhm.
don't know the keys. What keys I will have. Okay. Even if, let's say, even if I know the keys. Okay. These keys can be dynamic as well. Okay. I can get a dynamic values, dynamic object from the backend.
You
So
mean to say that val 1, val 2, val 3 can change?
change, correct? This
Okay.
object can change also. So
Okay.
if you want to use a for loop here, see, on object we can use for loop.
Hmm.
Okay. You can use for loop on object. Now how we can access a value from a for object. Okay. You if you know for each loop. Okay, there is a regular loop if you use like let int I equals to 0, and then that's the regular loop, but there is a for each loop as well. So we can use element of obj1.
Okay.
Let element of obj1. Okay.
Hmm.
So when you do this, and this will not work with object. Okay, because object this is an object, it only works with array. Okay, let's say you have an array 10 comma 20. Okay, I'll just explaining the for loop here. Okay, then I will tell you so if you do this,
Oh, this is for off loop, right?
for off loop, yes, this is a for
Okay.
off loop. You'll see 10 and 20 printed here. Okay, but if you use instead of for off, if you use for in, then what will happen? You know,
Will get the key, I mean, the index value of an array.
correct. It will print in the index value of an array, that is 0 and 1. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to get the index, you can use in. If you want to get the value, you can use for off. Okay. So these are the two loops. Okay. This will be helpful for you in Angular as well. Okay. So these are the two for off, for in loops. Okay. Now for off loop only works with arrays. Okay. But this for in loop works with arrays as well as is work with object as well. Okay. So if I use for in loop here for an, let's say, object. So let's say I have an object obj1. Okay. So now if you see, what will be the value of el?
L first it will be a val 1, then it will be val 2.
Correct. It will be val1 and val2. Okay. So when you use in for in loop for object, it will get you all the keys. Okay.
Mm.
And now if you want to access 10 and 20, how will you do it? Like this,
Yes.
obj1 of el. So
But
here it will be val1, val2. So you will get 10 and 20.
yes, but why can't we use dot operator over
Dot.
here?
We can't use dot because when you use dot, it directly tries to access the key. Okay, it is not a dynamic. This is not dynamic. When you use dot, this is not dynamic. It is like a
Mhm.
static value. You are trying to access el key from this test ob or obj1. Okay, and el doesn't exist in obj1.
Okay, okay, okay.
That's
Got
why
it,
it will
got it.
give you
So
only.
it's always it's always better to use a square brackets.
It's not better. Like if you have a dynamic properties, you should use square brackets. But if you don't have dynamic properties, you can use a dot. That's totally fine.
Okay, okay.
If you know the keys, you can use dot. If you don't know the keys, you can use square brackets.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
can you add in the test OBJ, can you add a key
Hmm,
called mystery and assign a string value to it? I have some,
like this
yeah,
string value. Okay, let's say
mhm.
hello. Okay, then
And just uncomment the for line 12 and line 16.
line 16. This one.
Hmm.
This will print hello. This will print 30.
30, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just confused, like how it is differentiating between
Yeah.
dot mystery and square bracket mystery.
See, when you use dot mystery now, it will exactly match the key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you use square bracket mystery, then it will be evaluated. This variable, this will be considered as a variable, and that
Okay,
variable will be evaluated to its value, which is answer, and then it will print 30. But if you want to get a hello value, you can wrap it inside single brackets. Then you will get hello.
okay, right.
Okay, got it. So this
Mm-hmm.
way we can access it if you do like that. Got it?
Okay, sir. Thanks.
No. Is it?
Sir, I have one question actually.
Yes.
How to compare two objects? Actually, it's interview question, so that's
Hmm.
why I'm asking.
How to compare two
Two
objects?
objects. Yeah.
I guess there is a function to compare two objects. I think so. Or you can means comparison in what basis? Like if you want to compare like exact match, like keys and values should both the match or not. So
No, actually, that I don't know. They asked me that question, so that's why.
actually this question is confusing because you don't know whether you want to match the keys exactly keys you want to match, or you want to match the order of the keys, or like value should also match. Okay, so that's one question. If you want to match exactly, I guess there are some functions or so, I don't remember. You can just Google search as well. Okay, if I don't know anything, I just Google search it. Okay, how to compare two objects in CrossFit. See, it's a most common question, I guess.
Triple equal to.
Triple equal to will actually, this is the most uh, like you can say best way, or fastest way you can say. See, triple equals to, what it does is triple equals to matches the reference, okay, or let's say type as well, not reference, type. It matches the type as well. Okay. Now you know JSON.stringify method. JSON.stringify, no? See, when you want to convert an object to a string, you use JSON.stringify. Okay. So console.log JSON.stringify, and here you will say obj1. This object, if you directly print it, okay, if you directly print object, then it will be printed as an object. But if you do stringify, then it will be converted to a string, and you will see like this. This is string. Okay, this is an object. Okay, you can see the object here, but this is a string. Okay, so when you do JSON.stringify obj1, so it will be converted as a string. Okay, now if you have a two objects like this, string I can directly compare, right? Obj2. Okay, and if I do same thing with obj2 as well, okay, so you can see both of these strings are same. So if you do equal equals to for this, equal equals, triple equals to will also work because both are string, type is same. Okay, so you are going to get true value. That's how you can check the object.
Okay, got it.
That's how you can compare the object. But this is like a JSON.stringify is a performance wise, it is very slow. Okay, if you have an huge object, then it will be very slow. Okay, so there are other techniques as well. um, I don't know whether he has mentioned or not. See, there are like huge logic you have to write, but this is the fastest way you can say compare.
Sir, and if we straight away compare the objects, then what will happen? I
Straight
think
away?
if we straight
Let's,
away compare without doing JSON.stringify,
let's see what
what?
happens. Like this, right?
Yes.
False. Why so? Because obj
Memory address.
yes, memory address. References are different.
Okay, and with double equal to?
Double equals to maybe it is also not working.
Okay.
So directly you cannot compare.
Sir, and but what if we use a spread operator and compare them?
Spread operator also will allocate a new memory or a new memory because spread operator actually mutates the data, right? So it will create a new reference for it.
Okay.
So it will also return false. Okay. By the way, everyone is clear about this object starter property syntax?
So
Sorry.
what about sorting? Like, is the order of the object same as we see in the
Yeah,
object?
order of the object should be same. Okay, I think so.
Hmm.
If
But in
you
Python, the order is not like the dictionary's order is not always like what we see. In
so if you have a
background, it's
like this,
something else.
then I don't think it will return true. It will return false.
Mhm.
Order matters. So here order will matter. Let's see here. Okay. Understood everyone? This dynamic property syntax.
How to sort the object in the out values in
You
the
can
object?
use sort function. There is a sort function. Not an array. Not in the object. It's in array. You can sort an array, but you cannot sort an object. Cannot sort an object. Like you want to do val1, val2, like you want to sort the
Yes.
right.
Hmm.
So one thing you can just extract the keys, and then in a new object you can
Make it a list and then
correct,
create a new list out of object
correct.
out of it.
Yeah, that's how you can do it. Okay, got it everyone? Shall we see next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is shorter property syntax. Now what is the shorter property syntax? Okay, let's say I have a variable here, const pi equals to math.pi. Okay. Now math.pi basically will return with 3.14159 the value. Okay, but what if I use pi here and I want to use that pi object here, pi variable here? Okay, and the key should also be same, like pi colon pi. Okay, now key is same, variable is again a same. Okay, this will obviously work if I do print console.log test obj pi here, then it is obviously going to print me 3.14159. Okay, the value of pi. But if you have a same name, same key, and a variable name is also same, you can just omit this part. Okay. This is called a shorter property syntax. Okay. So if you write like this will also work. Okay. This will also give you 3.149. This is equivalent to doing this pi colon pi. Okay. This is equivalent to doing this pi colon pi. So if you have a key name and variable name as same, you can directly omit the value part. Okay, got it? This is called a shorter property syntax. This will be helpful if you have a long name over here. If you have a key name as long and variable name is also long, you can use the shorter property syntax here, just using a single. Got it, everyone? Shorter property syntax.
Yes, yes.
It's simple, it's not that difficult. Okay, try this out. Okay, and then we'll move to the next one.
Sir, destructuring is the same as this.
Destructuring,
Yeah,
same as like
destructuring
this one.
means
Pattern.
yes, console
Uh,
means
no, destructuring is not like that. I'll come to this restructuring part. I'm going to take the destructuring and rest spread operator. We'll come to that. This is not a destructuring.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
If in function,
Hmm.
we don't know how many parameters are going to be provided,
Hmm.
what can we do in that scenario?
If you don't know how many parameters are provided, right?
Yeah, but parameters are going to come.
Come, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, you can use the spread operator, rest operator. I'll tell you
Okay.
when we come to rest and spread operator. That time,
Okay.
just remind me. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Is it done, everyone? By the way, I know I'm going too deep into each and every topic. If other
That's
people,
actually good, sir.
but other people, if they are not able to cope up, just let me know. Okay. Is it done, everyone? Shall we move to the next topic? Okay. Good. So the next one is also a short one. Template strings. Have you heard about template strings before?
Yes.
Yeah. Template strings is also like a new feature which was introduced in ES6. Okay. So previously we used to have a normal strings, right? So we can create a regular string like this, const str1 equals to, in a single quote we can write a string. Okay, let's say hello JavaScript. Okay, and then you can use a double quotes as well to write a string. Okay, but this creating a string using single quote or double quote has disadvantages. Okay, what are those disadvantages? Like, let's say if I want to write a multi-line string, can I do it in a single quotes? No. If I do like this, if I enter uh, here, and if you do multi-line string, this is not possible. It is already giving me an error. Okay. Can I do it in double quotes? No, that is also not possible. Okay. But generally people want to write a multi-line strings. Okay. And they want to have a multi-line strings. So in that case, you can use new type of string which is called as template string. Okay, let's say I have a str3. So template strings are basically denoted with backtick operator. Okay, we have single quote, we have a double quote, and we have a backtick operator. Backtick operator is just above your tab key. Okay, you can use this backtick operator. And let's say if I write hello just like this, and I want to add a enter here, I can do this. I can add as many lines as I want. Okay, it will not give me an error. Okay, if you want to print it out, let's print it out. Console.log str3. Yeah, I need to change it here as well. String structures. Okay. Now if you see str3 will print as it is, okay, with multi lines. Okay. If you have multiple lines, hello, then I see I have added two enters. So you can see there is one enter, second enter, and then JS. Okay. So it will be printed as it is. So that's the one thing that you can do with template strings. Means you can write multi-line string. Okay. This can be helpful if you are writing a templates. Okay. Let's say if you are writing a div tag like this, and inside this if you want to add something like hello, so this is like a template and you can write a template here. Generally we write a template in a multi-line, right? In a single line we cannot write a entire HTML. Okay, so this is like template string. Okay, so got it, multi-line string. The another thing that we can do with template strings is nothing but you can add variables directly, okay, inside template string itself. Okay, previously if I want let's say I have a variable here, let's say const username like this, let's say my name, and I want to use this username here. Okay, if I want to add, how can I do it? I can just write like plus and then like this. If I want to add in between, then I'll have to split this. Okay, and here I can write username like this. Okay, then I can do it. Okay, I cannot directly write username inside this. Inside this I cannot directly write username. Okay, but in template strings you can do this. Okay, let's say you want to write hello and then username. What you have to do is you have to use dollar curly brace symbol, and inside this you can directly use your variable name. Okay, now this variable name's value will be printed here, so it will print hello friend. See, like this. So you can use expressions inside template string. Expression, why I'm telling expression, because it not only displays a variable, it can also, we can also call a function inside this. Okay, we can also do like any JavaScript expression like pi plus 1 like this, let's say pi plus 3, so it will be evaluated and tell value will, 8 value will be printed. Okay, so this is like evaluated, this is the expression. The expression is evaluated and then this value is printed. Okay, if you have a function, then function can also be called function. Let's say some, I'm also always used for some function, I like it very much. So if I do like this, return a plus b like this, and I can directly use a sum function here, dollar curly brace sum n comma 20. If you do this, your 30 value will be printed. Okay, the template strings are more than this regular strings. Okay, they can do multi-line strings, they can evaluate your expressions, you can print variable values inside those template strings. Got it everyone? Template strings.
Yes.
What about others?
Yes.
Cool. Try it out. Sorry.
Sir, if in some function we pass two strings, then also it is working fine.
Two strings like this, na? So if I say
Yes, yes, it will give
so,
us 1020.
10 because it's a string. You can concatenate strings.
Okay.
Strings will be concatenated. Okay. So it will be 10 plus 20. So 1020. Strings we can already concatenate, right? We have already seen this. Here
But can't we give it a like data type constraint?
in JavaScript we can't do. Yeah, but in TypeScript we can do. That's why we need a TypeScript, and that's why in Angular we are going to see the TypeScript itself. Here we cannot specify the data type. JavaScript may you don't have this. You can't specify data type. Okay, got it.
Mhm.
But that's why we have a TypeScript where we can specify the data type for a variable, for function, return type. Yeah, but if you want to convert this into a number, you can do it. You can just wrap this inside a number function, number class, basically.
We can give a plus sign also, right?
Yes, we can give plus 9 as well. Okay, but plus number function, calling a number function is more faster than plus.
Yeah.
Okay. You might get confused, but calling a number function is much faster than a plus. We can check it out if you want. Like, let's say, um, let's do one thing. If I do for loop here, let I equals to 0, I less than, let's say, 100, and I plus plus. Okay. And if, let's say, I'm doing uh, console.log, no console.log, because it will just go on. Plus एक variable लेते हैं, let's say let a and a equals to um, plus 10 like this. Okay, I'm converting a string to a number. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's add console.time start time. Okay, this you can use to calculate the time difference. Okay, so let's say start, and here you can say time end. Okay, so it will print the time taken between this to this. Okay, so it will print the time difference. So if you say 10, still see it is taking around 0.142 milliseconds. If I'm again doing it, see the time is reduced now. It is reducing, but you can see it is coming around 0.1 or 0.0. Okay, but if I increase this number, let's say what, 100 to 1 lakh, this you can see 7
7
milliseconds,
milliseconds. Yeah.
247. Okay, if I increase one more, see it is increased to 118 seconds,
Mhm.
right? And see the difference is actually changing because it is cached. Actually, there is a caching.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you can disable it from network tab, no?
that will disable the network caching.
No,
That will
no. Okay.
that caching is actually JavaScript caching.
Mhm.
So generally there are like pure functions and impure functions. So if you have a pure function, so a pure code itself, then JavaScript will cache the values and it will just return the cached value. Okay,
Okay.
so this you can see. Now let's use number function. First, in the first step itself, it took around 31 milliseconds, right?
Hmm.
In the first step, when I used plus symbol, it took around 118 milliseconds,
118. Yeah.
right? So that's the reason number is faster than your plus. Okay,
Okay.
I can increase this one more time and let's see. It's 346 for the first time. And if I do plus, yeah, Basically, I don't know, but I have done this scenario before, and I got this, let's say, e raised to 10. Now it is e raised to 10 is a huge one. It's to 8. So
So, I've sent one piece of code.
Uh.
Is that code okay to check and cast the values based on the data type?
number, no, this will not work, because if you convert a number of a, and if it is not a number, okay,
Then it will, yeah, it will not, it's not returning any results
Hmm.
because I've not given any else block.
Hmm.
But
actually this will work because I guess na is a false, nan is a false value,
yes, nan is a false.
nan is a false value, right? So I think type of a nan will be number. It's a number. So if I use nan, so it is undefined. Nan is actually a falsy value. Yeah, that's why it is printing false.
Okay.
But generally, you shouldn't check like this. If the number is nan, okay. So if
Yeah,
you
we
do
can use
plus
is nan function.
is nan function, you should use is nan function. Okay. See, if you use is nan like this plus this, then it will return me true or false. So it's not a number. Okay.
Okay.
But if you do it with 10, so it is false. It's not a number, it's false. You should always use is nan function to check nan value.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it on the template strings. Any questions? Any doubts on template strings? So, okay.
Mm.
Okay. So now next, moving on to the next part. So we'll take a shorter one. Destructuring and spread operator. I will take you into the next lecture. Okay. Because I will not be able to complete that entire part. Okay. Let's take promises. Okay. So have you heard about promises before? Have you done any code on promises? Promise function.
It's like that finally block. in C++.
No, it's not a finally block.
Is it about resolve and reject?
Yes.
Like
It's
if a promise is successful, then it will resolve, and if it's not, then it will reject.
correct. It's that. Okay. So anyone who doesn't know what is promise is, I'll give you one analogy. Okay. I guess Node.js students might know this. Some of the students are Node.js. I have explained this. So see, when you see a hen, okay, hen means like jo murgi hota, right? That hen basically, when you want a chicken from a hen, okay, hen doesn't directly give you the chick, right? What it gives you the egg, right? It doesn't directly give you the chick, it will give you the egg. Okay, that means what it is giving you, it is giving you the promise that this egg will either result into successful hatch, or it will like a broken anda, like so. That egg is either can be successful or it can be failure. Okay, so that is called as promise. Okay, and when you use promise, why it gives an egg? because that you are not going to get check immediately. It will take some time. Okay, let's say that's a asynchronous task. Okay, that is that particular process is going to take some time, so you're not going to get a check immediately. Okay, so it will give you that egg, and that egg can result into a successful response, or it can result into a failure response. The promises are same thing only. Okay, so promise is nothing but you are calling some function which is going to take some time. Okay, but we cannot wait for that function. Okay, so it can be executed asynchronously separately. Okay, so when that function gets executed, okay, so uh, what it will do, it will give you the promise object. Okay, that promise object, either it can result into a successful response, or it can result into a failure response. And these two responses, either see, response can be either of this. Okay, it can be successful or it can be failure. Okay, so this responses basically comes from the function that we have called. Okay, the function might be executed out of your main thread, and once that function execution is completed, it can come back to your main thread with successful response or with failure response. So you then in that case you need to pass a callback function there. Okay, so let's consider one promise function which is already there available in JavaScript. Okay, by the way, this promise, did you understand what is promises? If not, let's see but with an example. Okay, so there is a function called as fetch function. Okay, fetch function is a ajax function. Okay, ajax, like it's a asynchronous function. So if you want to call any api, okay, any api or any url, you can use this fetch function. Okay, so let's say I want to call google.com. Okay. I want to call this url. Okay, and whatever is written, I will print it. Okay, so inside this fetch function you can simply paste your url. Okay, and this fetch function, if you see, it returns me promise. Okay, this promise is an object. Okay, so promise, as I told you, promise can result into two responses, either successful or failure. So if you want to handle a successful response, we call dot then function. Okay, the dot then function again accepts a callback. It's a callback function. Okay, so here you can specify. Now here onwards I'm going to write arrow functions most, so you will find that I'm writing arrow functions most of the time. Okay, so here you are going to get a response, so that response, and that will be a callback function. Okay, so this is a callback function. I'm passing a callback function to this then function. So this will be called when this like this api call is completed. Okay, if it is successful. Okay, and if it is failure, then we use dot catch function. Okay, catch function again accepts callback function, but it will return me result, error. Okay, if there is an error in your response, then that error will be printed over here. Okay, now if you call this, yeah, I need to replace. It is giving me course error. Actually, this is a course cross origin error. So I cannot call a different URL. Let's call the same URL itself. Okay. Go to promises. I cannot call a different domain. Okay, from a different domain. Okay, my domain is 227.0.0.1. Okay, and with a port number as 5500, and I'm calling google.com, which is another different domain. So from browser itself, you cannot call you cannot call a cross domain URL. Okay, to call a cross domain URL, your cross domain should allow you to call call from your domain. Okay, so that's basically cross origin policy. So the server, okay, server is nothing but a google.com, should allow your URL to call the server. Okay. Now google.com doesn't allow this URL. Okay, that's why you are getting this CORS error. Okay, CORS policy error, and that is a security measure. Browser doesn't allow you to call cross domains unless and until server allows you to call it. Okay, so that's a different thing. Okay, so just remember, whenever you get this CORS error, just call your backend guy and ask him to enable CORS on the server, so you will be able to access this. Okay, access your server URL. Okay, so now if I say, but if you are calling on the same domain, then it is allowed. Okay, so if you see, if I'm calling on the same domain, I will able to get the response. Okay, so why I'm getting the response? Because this I'll say dot then here, so that it will be more clearer where the response is coming. Here I will say catch. You can see the response is coming in the then. Why? Because this URL is correct and I'm able to access this. And you can see the net in the network call itself, you can see the API has been called with an XHR fetch request. Okay, this is actually returning the HTML response. This HTML response. This HTML response is actually returned over here. Okay, so that's how you can call a promise. And if there is an error, let's say I'm just writing a different URL which is not existing here. Okay, then also you are going to get the error in then. But if there is an error from the, let's say, from backend side itself, then you are going to get an error here. I don't know whether I can be able to fix this error here. It's a promise. You can see it's pending. That URL is not accessible because the IP address is wrong. I've entered a wrong IP address here. So it will try it out for some period of time, and after some time it will just fail. I don't know how much time it will take. Yeah, whatever, it is taking too much time. Okay, but if there is an error, then this will fail and you will get a error in catch. Okay, so if there is an error, you will get an error in catch. If there is no error, then you will get a response since then. Okay, so that's how you basically call a promise function. Okay, so promises, you can call it like this. Okay, and promises are asynchronous. What do you mean by asynchronous? That means they will be executed separately on a separate thread. Okay, that means if I do console.log here, okay, and if I do, let's say, exit, okay, so exit will be printed first and then will be printed. Exit will be printed first and then will be printed, because this is a asynchronous call and they are executing on a different thread. Okay, so this will be completed first and then your fetch function will complete. Got it? How to call a promise? You will see how to create a promise, but did you get how to call a promise?
थोड़ा सा समझा है but not exactly. Like when we'll get the example, it's a live demo. So maybe
Actually, it's a live example. It's like fetch function. You are calling an API. Fetch is a browser function itself. If you want to call an API from a normal JavaScript, you can call this, use this fetch function. This fetch function actually returns promise. Okay. Now let's see the promise, how we can create a promise. Then I guess you will be able to understand it. So I'll create a promise here. Okay. To create a promise function, now creation of a
Sure.
promise. Yeah.
Can you get the result of this?
Sure.
Because when I'm executing it, it is giving me a what do you say? Welcome to Memories API.
Welcome to.
This is the expected output in then.
This is the expected output, right?
No. I have sent you in the chat.
Welcome to Memories API.
Yeah, because if you'll just visit that link without putting it in a promise, I mean fetch.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is welcome to memory city, right?
Hmm.
Generally what happens is you'll have to call
It is like app dot get.
just a minute. Let me check. Just doing one. Unexpected. Yeah. JSON. Response dot.
Body data should be passed as a JSON.
No. So the body is a function, I guess. Body is not a function. Response dot. I guess text. Yeah, text. Text is a function. Yeah, it's a function.
JSON.dumps and all doesn't work here.
JSON dot dumps. There is no function called as JSON dot dumps. There is no JSON dot dumps. But this response, I think it should get status body. Okay, URL type. And it should return a response dot text function. Alright, I am not printing it out. What I'm doing now. Console.log. Now it is. You can see. The response is actually will not give you the output itself. Okay, if you do it like this, console.log response here. Okay, this
Mhm.
response is not actually output itself. It is a response object. If you want to get a output of that from that, then you either, if your response is in JSON format, then you need to call res.json, and this res.json, it will return promise. Okay, it will return
Okay.
promise. That's why you need to again call then function.
Okay.
Because this JSON is returning a promise, right? So I am returning here. You can see this is an arrow function, right? So I am
Mhm.
returning here. So this returned value is nothing but a JSON promise. Okay, and I am calling a dot then here, and then the whatever the data, let's say data, it is a data. You can print it over. Now JSON, it is going to throw an error because the returned response is not a JSON, it's a text. So that's why you need to write a text. Text is also returning a JSON, a promise. Okay, so you will get
Okay.
an exact text. Okay. So with fetch function, you have to call dot then 2 times. Okay, and in the first then you have to call either text or JSON, whichever is correct one, and then in the next then you will get the data. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just remove this one. Now let's see how to create a promise. Okay. To create a promise, it's actually somewhat a complicated task. Okay. Here actually we are returning a function. Okay, we should return a function. Promise is a function itself or object itself. Sorry, object itself. So we need to return a promise object. Okay. Let's say let's take an example. We will accept one parameter and we will return that parameter is even or odd. Okay, if it is an even, then it's a successful. If it is not an even, then it is not successful. Let's say it's an error. Okay, just an hypothetical example. If the number is even, then the response should be success. If number is not even, then the response is error, let's say. Okay, now let's implement this kind of thing. You can do this in normal function as well, but I'm doing it as on promise, as a promise based, because just to understand a promise with some basic example. Okay, so let's say const even number, or let's say is even number, is even, okay, equals to I'm accepting a number, so there is a function here. Okay, now this function will return me a promise. To return a promise, write a return statement here and new promise object. Okay, this promise object basically accepts a callback function. Okay, or you can say executor function as well. That's a callback function again. So callback function means I need to write a function here. Okay, and that function has two parameters. One is resolve, another is reject. Okay, so we can write resolve comma reject. Okay, both of these are functions. Okay, resolve is a function, reject is also a function. Okay, now you have to call these two functions. You have to call either resolve or you have to call reject. Okay, when you will call resolve, when you have when you know your response is successful, then you will call resolve. If you know your response is failure, then you will return reject. Okay, so we have to return it. So our scenario is, if the number is even, then it is successful. If it is not even, then it is failure. So we'll just check it with condition num mod 2 equals to 0. Okay, then it should return me resolve. Okay, or return, or if you don't return it, that's also fine, but you should call resolve function. Okay, so you'll call resolve. Okay, and in this you can pass any value. Okay, this is a function, you can pass any value. So let's say I'm calling on let's say I use template string $num is even number. Okay, and if it is not an even number, then I will reject it. Reject it with, let's say, $num is not an even number. Okay, like this. So what I'm doing is, if the number is even, then I'm resolving it as a even number. If it is not an even number, then I'm rejecting it. That means I'm returning a failure response. Okay, now how do you call this is even? Is even, you can see it is returning a promise object, promise, right? So you can call it like this. Okay, so if I do is even, okay, and if I pass, let's say 4, okay, 4 is an even number, then is even returns the promise. So I have to write dot then. Okay, you can see, you will automatically see dot then here, and here you will see the response. The response, you can print it out, console.log response. Okay, and then if there is an error, then you will say catch, and in this catch you can write an error. Obviously you can print a console.log. Let's say I am printing console.error. Error will print in a red line. Okay, a red text. Error will be printed in a red text. Okay, so see is even is a promise. So if it is successful, then it will print console.log response. That is, what is the response? Response is nothing but whatever you are passing to this resolve function. Here also, when you call catch, the error is what? Error is nothing but whatever you are passing to this reject function. Okay, now let's see what happens. You'll see 4 is an even number. Okay, because it's an even number and it got resolved, and I got a value here. Okay, line number 22, you can check it out in the line number 22. I'm getting 4 is an even. Now what if I do instead of 4, if I do 3, it's an odd number, right? So you see 3 is not an even number. Okay, line number 23, and you are getting line number 23, 3 is not an even number. And because of this error, console.error, we are getting it in a red line, red color. Okay, got it? That's how you can call a promise. Okay, so always remember, you can call a promise function, and then if you want to get a successful response, use then function. If you want to get a failure response, use catch function. Okay, got it, everyone?
Do we have like multiple? Is there any? I'm not really sure if it is the right question or not, but do we have like multiple then and multiple catch things?
We can have multiple then and multiple catch, but only when the response you are returning here. Okay, you should return something here. The returning response should be a promise. Then only you will be able to have a multiple then. Right, like we have seen in the previous case, right? So the response.text or response.json was returning me a new promise, right? So that's why I'm writing again a then function. Okay, so if it is returning, let's say res here, okay, then I cannot write dot then again. Okay, dot then here, and then I'll say here some data, and then I will do console.log and the data. Okay. Actually, this 3 is actually it's not an even number. 4. Yeah, whatever you return is actually returned and it will be printed as it is. Line number 23, right? Yeah. But this is not required, as you can see. Okay, because here itself you are getting a response, then you don't need to write again then. Okay, only write on next then when you are returning a promise here. If you are returning one more promise here, let's say I'm returning is even again, and here I'm calling 5 or let's say 6. Okay, then in that case it makes sense to write a next then. Okay, then in that case this is even will be called and it will be returned as a promise, and in that case dot then will be called and it will print a 6 is an even number. Okay, only if you are returning and promise, then in that case this makes a sense. If you're not returning a promise, then it doesn't make sense to write a dot then function.
So basically, if in if condition,
Hmm.
instead of resolving the previous promise,
Hmm.
we create a new promise and resolve that and consume the results of the older promise into the new promise, then we can use a double if then.
Uh, I couldn't get your question actually.
So
Which
on
means like our result is based on multiple inputs from different
Hmm.
websites, let's
no,
say.
no, no. On
Like
line number
let's say
14,
Hmm.
we are resolving, right?
Yeah.
So instead
Okay. You
of
mean to
this,
say instead of this,
we
returning a
we
new
create a
promise.
new promise. Yeah.
Yeah, that also possible.
So in
Okay.
that case,
But
we
you
should go with
shouldn't return it. The new promise should be called inside this resolve.
yes.
The resolve.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
You should actually write it like resolve, and in this you can write is even again, and you can say
No, no.
6.
If we don't use is even and we use new promise.
New promise that also works. Yes, you should return a new promise itself. You should actually pass a promise object here. Okay, is even is a promise, that's why I have written is even. But if you write a fetch function here, that also will work. Okay, so
Mhm.
this is like a fetch function. I'm calling a fetch here. Okay, and I'm not doing this. Okay, so here in this case, this response is nothing but a this fetch function. Okay, so if you print it like this, you will see a response is nothing but a fetch function. Okay,
Mhm.
this, and if you return this res, okay, and then you call dot then. Okay, so this is like a, let's say, response. I'll write resp just for this purpose. But this fetch basically will return response. So you can write console.log. This is again going to print me response object. Okay, so if I want to get a value, again call response dot text. Okay, and then you can call data here, and then you can print that data. This way you will get the entire
So
HTML.
basically, if in some API,
Hmm.
the backend developer has done things like this in multiple places, then the chain will just go on and on.
Yes, the chain will go on and on. Okay,
Okay.
but yeah, if you want to avoid this chaining and all, if you want to do it in a like a step by step, like a synchronous way, then in that case you can use async await pattern.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
like see, if you want to do this with the same async await pattern, what you have to do is write a function. Okay, let's say main करके एक function लिख देता हूँ, and in that function you want to call this is even function. Okay, now this is a promise. Okay, you don't want to call then and dot catch, then you have to wrap prefix it with this with async. Okay, and then write await here. Okay, so whatever is even will return, okay, that will be a response. Okay, so you can say const response here, and this will give you me the this object response object. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
and if you print this console.log response, this will give me a response. Okay, but this response is actually I need to again this is a promise. Okay. I haven't called this function. It's a promise again, like response promise. I again need to call await on this. Let's say const resp equals to await response dot text, like this. Okay, and now you get a response here. Yes, this is again going to be a response. See now. So this way you can do like now you can
Basic, yeah, one line of code. No, okay,
one
fine.
then is actually removed basically,
Yeah.
and you
And
can
what if any response, I mean,
there's a
any
failure.
await line fails? Yeah.
If any the await light fails, here you can see catch, but here you
Mhm.
can use try catch block.
Okay.
That's easy.
Hmm.
Use try catch. Here you will catch the error. You will get an error here. Console.log error.
Okay. And the catch that we have on line number 26, that catch will be related to line number 25 only, right?
Line number 25. No, it will be related to any of this.
All three of
If
them.
any
Okay.
of this fails, then this catch will occur.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
You can check it out. Like if I do 5 here, okay, if I is not an even number, it has been caught. Right? Line number 26.
Okay.
So this is one of the way, like using async await pattern, and people prefer async await pattern because to avoid this chaining and all. Okay, because as you can see inside async, it is always synchronous. Okay, once you get the output of this number, then only the next line will be executed. Although this is a promise, this is asynchronous, but they are inside async function. So inside function, everything will be executed line one after another. But if you call this as a separately here, then they are asynchronous. They are like asynchronous calls will be like a parallel call, and they will not be executed the same one after another. Okay. See, if your anything is dependent on previous promise, then I would always recommend using async await pattern because that's the easiest way of writing it. But here, as you can see, this response text is actually dependent on this is a1's response. Okay, like if you do this one, this response or this response, we have used fetch function, right? If it is dependent on this response, then you have to write dot then here, then again dot then after that, then again dot then after that. So you'll have to chain it accordingly. Now this chaining will basically confuse you most of the time. Okay, if there is a dependency on previous promise response. Okay, so in that case, it is always recommended to use a sync await pattern because you know after this line is going to execute. So the response of this, I can use it below. The response of this, I can use it below. Okay. So is it clear to everyone how to create a promise or how to call a promise?
When to choose what?
Uh, See, that's what I'm telling you. So if there is a dependency, okay, so you can use promise based like dot then and dot catch, okay,
Hmm.
but this will make you this will confuse you most of the time because you will not know which one is returning a promise here, okay.
Hmm.
By looking, you'll have to write look at the code itself, okay, but this is like a more easiest way. Okay, see, if
Okay.
you have a like dependency on a previous promise response, then use async await pattern. Otherwise, if there is no dependency, use promise dot then dot catch.
Okay.
Okay, because this is more readable
Hmm.
compared to this. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So everyone got what about the promise and this async await pattern? Although we are not going to use this in Angular, okay, but you should know this concept. Okay, then we will stop here. It's already past 9, so we'll stop here. There is one topic remaining, destructuring and rest spirit operator. So we'll see that in the next lecture. Okay. So is everyone? Yeah. So is everyone clear about object literals, template string, arrow functions, and promises?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What about others? Sagar and Vasan, I can say because they know most of the things, but I want to hear it from other people as well because they are new. They might not be knowing it. So, are you guys understanding the
Yes,
JavaScript?
sir.
Cool. Okay. Then we'll stop here. We'll meet in the next lecture. I guess it's tomorrow. Let me check the calendar. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So the lecture will be tomorrow. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So lecture will be tomorrow. Okay. Chalo then.
Okay.
We'll meet in the
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.